The fall of America has come. So we see the power of our enemies being broken by God and destroying the powers of this white man's powers to maintain his slave over the whole world. See, independency is fine if we can keep and maintain independency, but there is a dark cloud of trouble now springing over the country of America. The dark cloud makes so once freedom of thought and action becomes a freedom of death, hell, and destruction. It is awful to think over the things of evil and the trouble that are coming upon the glorified North America. The poor black slave number now into tens of millions of black people never knew anything of the joy of freedom because the victorious enemy, like a young lion, as Daniel give it in the Bible, had made the black slave a prey to all of this white man wicked desires. Now, what do we have to celebrate in the fact that the white man is enjoying freedom over us and celebrate this white man's independency? We make a fool out of ourselves. We cannot celebrate his day. The only time that we, the black people, have a day to worship and are able to call a day our day of freedom is when we are free from white America and free from other nations and become independency with some of this earth that we can call home. Then we can say that this is a freedom day and holiday for us. Black sisters and black brothers, let us unite and get together and try to go from there what binds us to others. Slavery in Alabama and Mississippi. The white man trichology is always being trumpeted to the world that they are peace lovers, as though they want all people, as they falsely claim, to be free and to live in peace, while they are sitting on and crushing between 20 and 30 million black people in America, who if they served to slave 800 years ago. Now for 100 years, the slave master children falsely claim that they are free and that they are trying to treat us as free people. And have come to me that in the states of Alabama and the country of Alabama, there are big plantations owned by white people and a stately White House set up on hills, and slaves live in the surrounding stocks. These black people work hard for very small pay. They said by some that the salary range from 25 cents a day to $2.50 a week. Rough clothes to work in are furnished to them. This kind of slave labor goes on through generation. One generation after another is subject to this slave way of life, what is called a free world. To this slave way of life, we see the owners today keep these black people in this type of slavery. The owners have mounted a guard patrolling the plantation with a gun lying across his lap and a saddle or his horse to see that there is no black interference from the outside to entice the enslaved black on the inside of his plantation to come in better areas for better wages. These people grow up there and they die there on the plantation. Some of them never knew civilization. They are satisfied because they know no other life but the slave life that our fathers and grandfathers have been living under. We hear this kind of slavery goes on, not only in the country of Alabama, but in other states such as Mississippi and Georgia. A year ago, when I was a young man in Georgia, I heard that such slavery on large plantation was going on in certain areas in Georgia. And people would go to the farm there, and a poor man probably owns another white farmer. And this white farmer pays the debit that he owns the other white farmers. And then the black man becomes the slave, the balance of his and his family's life on a plantation of this white man who pays the debit to a previous white plantation owner as long as he lived. never pays that debit. See, this is the worst injustice and the most cruel slavery of all. They are shot and killed or beaten to death if they are found trying to lead a plantation. The white owners make other blacks at the same plantation under fear be the informers, what is said and planned by the blacks. It has been told to me in my younger life, like certain rivers, lakes, and wood or wilderness, like place carrying the bones and skulls of many black slaves from these plantations in so-called freedom times and the age of slavery by the laws of this government and world. But in those southern states where Mr. George Wallace was running for president, he can make every black man, woman, and South vote for him under fear. These black people are afraid to disobey white people in high office, or even an old white farmer who is hardly able to buy himself a new overall suit. The black people in the South have been brought up for many years, for centuries, to fear white people, where there is no freedom or chance to get out among free people. See, these black people become the most ignorant and the most terrified people of whites that there are in the country of America. And the white man knows this. He gets rich. He builds himself a fine, luxurious home on a plantation. And as far as he can see, he claims that the land is his, and the poor slaves are living in the worst stocks. When the rain comes, some of them have to go to the walls of the house with piles to catch the rain coming through their almost open roofs. When winter comes, they are setting up to their fireplaces trying to keep warm. See, these are the worst living conditions of human beings that could even be in the jungle of Africa, where they do not have saw, mauls, or bricks, kilns to saw timbers into limbers and to mold bricks. See, America has everything necessary to make her slave a good warm home, cold home, and give her slave a good living wage. Because our father for 400 years have already supplied the wealth for us today to be given good substantial wages for our necessary of life. It is pitiful to go into these southern areas, out in the Richfield district, and see how after 400 years we see this wicked, sunburnt, killed nose, tobacco juice mouth, blue-eyed devils are plunking our people down to such slavery condition. You see, crushing them to death and diseasing them. Children today are coming up suffering from malnutrition. Fevers and other disease capture them and take them to their pine box grave or to the hole in the ground in the South without anything like honor of their death. They are buried in rough pine wooden boxes. The black man of America is so mistreated by a 400-year-old slave master and the slave master children that you just cannot describe any other mistreatment of human beings, the evil and ill treatment that the black man has and still suffering in white America. In many towns and cities of the southern states and even their capitals, you will find the black man living in a bad condition. His toilet is sometimes an open, boarded up place stinking right there in the cities, diseasing the citizens because of that evil demon, the white man who wants to give all the ill he can for the people who have served him as slaves for 400 years. It's going on in the South. Go see it for yourself. The U.S. malls come into these towns and cities. In some place, the black people are forced to walk to a drugstore and ask a white drugstore owner for their mail. And then they are treated like dogs, as though the white devil are giving him something free, while the senders of the mail have paid the tax for the postal carriers to bring it to their doors. The black children are walking around with sore pus running out of them for the lack of medical attention. The black children are dying of disease right in this false freedom of this old USA. The black people are carried down by this victorious enemy who keeps his gun loaded to blow them down. And every happy one-sided, grinded mouth policeman or sheriff is seeking just the slightest chance to kill a Negro. You don't have to say to his brother devil judge that he has to kill a Negro. And the judge look at him and give him a big smile and a hand clap as though he did not kill enough. You are to kill all of them. See, I've heard from their mouth when I lived in the South that there was too many Negroes in the South and the white people should kill off some of them. There are more Negro than whites, and the white man should kill off some of these Negroes. Now, what chance does this black man have under the shadow of American governments for freedom, justice, and equality? I thank Allah and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who have come to deliver the black man in America and to kill our oppressors. This is very good. And we should be shouting day and night that deliverer has come. The revelation of the Bible have given this people the right name, a beast. And the most victorious description does this revelation gives. In Daniel of the Bible, this people is described as a beast rising up out of the sea with 3 ribs of a man in his mouth. This is the description of America with the black slaves swallowed for 3 centuries and the power of our enemies, the devils. The black man of the South will be a fool to vote for any white man of the South to rule him. He should stay away from the Pope, because the white man for whom he vote is an enemy of his. He is bound to tighten the shackles tighter than ever. They preach and enforcing the law, and that law is unjust law directed against the black man. Vote for Allah and for his servant, Elijah Muhammad, and by the power of Allah, our God, who have come in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. All the prophecies of the Bible, what he will do in freeing the black man of America, will be fulfilled. Let us submit to him and live in peace with money and good homes, with the friendship of God and the righteous. There's nothing that you have to fear today but God himself. It is useless for us to fear our enemies at the coming and presence of God, who have power over the very atom of life. For the fear of this white man that will cause our people to eat the fire of hell with the white man if they do not recognize the fact that it is God whom they should fear and not the devil. The world of the white man is now crumbling and coming to nothing. The safety of the black man is his God, as the Holy Quran teach us. In this day and time, seek refuge in Allah, the God of the black man. He is the only place of refuge. We have made America one of the richest and strongest people on earth. And mighty navies command the high seas, with an undersea cliff crawling on the bottom of the ocean, carrying deadly weapons to surface and pour out on towns and cities other than America, and with listening device set up throughout the earth on land, sea, and air to listen to see what people are saying about her and planning against her, knowing she is guilty and deserving of death, and that she should be taken and destroyed. She had prepared to put up a mighty battle, but Allah to have prepared, and he is the best prepared, knowing their thoughts before they was ever made. They have not the slightest chance today against the power of Allah that is working against them, even through the force of nature. The white race have been disgracing the entire black nation of the earth. Africa has suffered under the same wicked powers of the white race and having an awful time trying to rid herself of such a demon. She will do so, and soon. Here in America, Almighty Allah God wants to make himself known with both the punishment and destruction of this mighty, powerful, rich people. Fear not, my dear black people, for we have Allah with us. He is a mighty and a strong and the most powerful one to be feared. Come follow me, and I'll lead you to your starvation. Alabama, according to the article in November 25th, 1969, issue of the Wall Street Journal, written by Mr. Neil Maxwell, staff reporter, according to reports of our own farmers, the Muslim property and life are being attacked by a devil, Miss James H. Bishop, called himself a missionary. He had started attacking us for a fight. The Muslim had lost a couple of heads of cattle by gunshot penetrated by some coward, according to report of Mr. Neil Maxwell. This demon, Miss James H. Bishop, seeks to bring himself and American people into a war with Allah God and the righteous, which would be the end of America and her people. We the Muslims are a people of peace and have and are proving ourselves to be just that all over America. And of course, this demon, Mr. James H. Bishop, is proving himself to be just what he is made to be, a mischief maker. As Allah God came in the person as Salah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has taught me that he is. I warn this troublemaker that he is playing with fire, and very hot fire, for he is attacking Elijah Muhammad and his followers. But he is attacking Allah's messengers. Allah God welcomes the attack, for this is what he came for. As sure as Allah God live, we will convert every black man in America to his or her own, and this includes those in Alabama. Look at the Muslim condition in Alabama. Went there to buy a piece of land from a citizen of Alabama. Then some white enemy appears, call himself a preacher of the gospel of this. But he did not forget to preach the gospel of the devil along with it. This devil, Mr. Bishop, we hired him. We first went to the farms in Alabama. He worked for us on the farm, digging holes to help us to get set up on the farm. At that time, he says nothing to us in a way of charging us with being there illegally. Why did he hire out to us? Why did he help us to get set up on our farm? We hired him and paid him for his work. And there is no talk from him in the manner in which he is talking now. So this man had turned to be a real open enemy and not a secret enemy. He even goes so far now to even talk of killing us and ask us for a fight. We are losing cattle from bullet wounds, and he is speaking in the direction of even destroying our property and cattle. Even make it hard for us to buy gasoline. And the most ignorant and worst thing is that the gas attendant sell us the gasoline, and then we are arrested and charged with a crime for buying the gasoline instead of charging the man who sold it to us. It is very ignorant and silly. We have brought land and cattle in Alabama. We meant to get the profit out of what we bought. And the government of Alabama intends to drive us out from our property. They will have to buy us out, not to drive us out. If the government of Alabama is in agreement with the white people of Alabama and what they are doing against the Muslims, then I want to say to the whole white America that we have Allah God on our side to retaliate against anyone who mistreat us. We did not go down there with rifles and guns to shoot anyone. We are Muslims, and a brother of Muslims, we are not accepted by our brothers Muslims. We must certainly have been accepted by the God of Islam, Allah, whose proper name is Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, who came to us without observation, as it is written of him. However, he makes his works manifest. The nation of Islam idea again is to build better countries, homes for the black people. I said to the whole American white people that you can never win against anyone outside or inside of America as long as you seek to mistreat us. As it is written in the Bible, he who contain with us, Allah God will contain with him and give them their blood to drink like sweet wine. So remember, we are the people of Allah God. We make no trouble with anyone, but Allah God retaliate against anyone who made trouble for us, who seeks to do us harm. The decline of the dollar, the stronghold of American governments is falling to pieces. She had lost amongst the nation of the earth. One of the greatest power was American dollar. The loss of such power will bring any nation to weakness, for this is the meter of exchange between nations. The English pound and American dollar have been the power and the beckoning light of these two great powers. But when the world went off, the gold and silver standards, the financial doom of England and America was sealed. The pound had lost 50% of its value. American dollar had lost everything now as power backing from a currency which was once backed it by gold from every $5 note and up. And all of her currency was backed by silver from a dollar note up. But today, the currency of America is not backed by any sound value, silver or gold. The note today is something that the government declared they will not give you the value in return, but does not name what that value is. But they definitely not backing that currency with silver or gold. This is the number one fault. It is very clear that the loss of the power of American dollar means the loss of the financial power of America. What will happen since there is no sound backing from our notes? We do not know. What should we expect even in the next 12 months under the fall of the power of American dollar? This means that we have 100% inflations. What could happen under the 100% inflations? Your guess is as good as mine. The power of gold and silver was once abounding in America, but the touch of the finger of God against the power of so mighty a nation have now caused the crumbling and fall of America. We can easily and truthfully liken the fall of America to the prophet picture given in the Bible, Revelation of John 18, verse 2. The name Babylon used there does not really says whether it is ancient Babylon or a picture of some future Babylon. The description it gives as follows. And he, angel, cried mightily with a strong voice, with authority, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, it's become the habitation of devils. Allah had declared the people to be a race of devils, and to hold every foul spirit, and to cage every unclean and hateful bird. The description here gives to the Babylon by the prophet compared with the present history and people of America and their fall. The picture shows the cause of her fall. Number one, she had become the habitation of devils. And being the habitation of devils make her a haven For every people that love the work and doing of the devil. Here, the prophet refers to them as being a hold of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. People are referred to as birds, snakes, beasts, fish, and other animals to tell or represent the characteristics of that person. It is universally known that the very beginning of the American people was from the lower class of European people, and their first ruler, President Washington, was a fugitive from England, and coming dissatisfied and lower grades of European people followed and boasted his authority. This filled and inhabited America with very low class and low base people. And this type of people went into Africa, purchased slaves from amongst our people who was also uneducated. Most of them, but there was a few who was highly educated. All of these began to mix with the lower base, evil mind, real citizens of the Western Hemisphere, whites. And when America began to get strong in power, she opened her doors to the underprivileged laborers in overpopulated countries such as China, Japan, and Europe to seek citizenship in America. This brought into America one of the most mixed people who was granted the freedom to live any kind of life they choose. They was not forced to serve the God of the universe who made heaven and earth, nor any religion. They have freedom of worship. Just make America a haven for any people who wish to be free of the competitors, and religious, and just rule, and authorities. These people for the past 500 years have put into practice every evil that is imaginable. The freedom of uncleanness is granted in its worship. The percentage of sexual worship of the same sex is greater than any government on the face of the earth. Little children are being taught sex almost from the crowd, making a whole nation, as one man put it, 90% freak of nature. It is coming to see on the streets of any metropolitan city of America, man sweethearting with man, and woman sweethearting with woman, little boys with boys, and little girls with girls. It is coming to a decent family is puzzled as to where to send their children for school. There are no all girls schools as they once were. See, there are all girls schools of sweethearts, the same sex falling upon their own. Boys, colleges are breeding such filthy practice. The jailhouse, prisons, and federal penitentiaries, all breathing dozens of homosexuals. As the Bible says in the 18th chapter, she is the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. There are types of hateful birds. That's why a name is given. It means human beings. There are birds of prey and birds that are unclean, such as crow, owls, blizzards, ravens, who live and thrive off the carcass of others. There are unclean people living and thriving off the unclean. It is time that God intervened to bring about the end of such people as the wicked of America. She offers the same filth to all the civilized of the earth. She hates you if you are against her way of life, and would threaten you with death as the Starmites did Lot and his followers. But I said to you, as the fourth verse of the Revelation 18 verse 4 says, you that want to be a better people, it is come out of her. The so-called American Negro are referred to here in the fourth verse as being God's people. My people come out of her, that you be not partaker of her sins, and that you receive not of her pledge, This is a call to the American so-called give up a doomed, wicked people that have destroyed them from being the people worthy of recognition, who have now become lovers of the enemies and destroyers. The fifth verse tells us that her sins are reaching to heaven. And God has remembered her sins and is ready to destroy her. The destruction comes quickly, according to the eighth verse, that pledge death, mourning, famine to come in one day, 1 year. Then after that, she should be destroyed by fire, burned. This is backed up in these words. Strong is the Lord God who judges her. Here it gives us a knowledge that he who judges is well able, with power, with wisdom, to make judgment against her. The destruction of American education. The pledge of Allah, God, against the educational system of America is something that the philosophers and scientists should look into, as the destruction of American education is their wisdom to educate the people. There are many who looks on the destruction without taking a second thought of destruction of American education. Education is the guide for the people to keep and maintain a civilized life. It is education that civilizes us. Now to see the citizens of America rebelling against the American educational system is something that the rise should take thought of. The American people actually have come to a point where they hate their own educational system. This means that they are hating and destroying their civilization, because it is education that civilizes people. The American people no longer want the education, and they are destroying the very house, their textbooks education. They are rebelling against their teachers who teach education. They are fighting their teachers, and then they set the house on fire, schools, colleges, and universities. This means, in words as I have said above, that they are destroying their own civilization. The black of today who are blindly helping the white people to destroy this civilization are like Samson was in his day and time. He helped to pull the buildings down, but he was blind to the fact of destruction of the building. All Samson wanted to do was to get even with his mockers, who have put out his eyes and who laughed at him. See, Samson did not care whether there be a civilization left behind him or not. He was willing to die blind to the knowledge of the future of his people, those people he was destroying. Throughout America, her colleges, her universities, and her teachers are in danger. The students no longer want an old world guidance. It is a new world that they want, but it is a mad destruction of the old world. They do not know how to prepare for a new world civilization. They do not have the guidance for a new civilization. In a madness, they refuse to hear a teacher teaching of an educational system of a better civilization, the civilization of the black man. The wisdom of an educational system of the black man of the earth have never been known to this world, because the black man was put to sleep in order to let this world white man try itself at ruling. Now the rule of this world have been found to be dissatisfying, and the dissatisfaction is 100%. Allah God has come to take over, to guide another people into setting up a better educational system for the people, of whom himself is the head.